Hey, I tried to be reasonable last week and downplay the hype at least a little bit that we would be good going into playoffs, that this meta would work out for us. I should have been all aboard. That's my bad. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Rendezvous, your one-stop shop for everything 100 Thieves LCS, and boy, what a week it was. If you don't watch any of the co-streams, I Will Dominate brought out his old Dignitas hoodie, and somebody in the comments pointed out that the last time he wore it, Sniper was 6, and man, it was fun to watch 100 Thieves just smash Dignitas in every way, shape, or form. You got Kadril buying in on the quid hype, you've got just everybody, it seems like, supporting the boys and wanting to see this run now, because most people at this point have kind of lost faith in clearly Dignitas after this series, but NRG is the only other contender realistically that you can see that, hey, maybe they can rebound come playoffs and stand a chance against FlyQuest and maybe knock them out. I think there's this underlying narrative that people don't want it to just be the big three that go. Obviously, I'm biased when talking about this, but I do get the perception that people want TL to go 100%. People probably want Cloud9 to go, especially the Cloud9 fans, given that there's more of them in the space than any other fan base out there. But I think there's enough residual hate left for Whippo and Inspired that people would not mind seeing Sniper and Quid and the young guns of 100 Thieves go to Worlds instead and cause a little bit of an upset. I don't think it seems like most people just want some sort of upset in any way, shape, or form, and maybe 100 Thieves can deliver, but we'll get there. First, this Dignitas series. One of the big things coming into this week was the patch. You were seeing the Enchanter buffs like Azir, like Orianna, like Syndra, picks that we have seen Quid play, but notably Jensen has also played as well. So the question was, who was going to be the first to pull the trigger on it? It was us! But not only just that, but we also picked up the MF, which was really good with Bloodthirster. And we smashed him. Smashed. Sniper also had a fantastic game on the Renekton. The Viego pick on our side is one that I've always personally been weary of. We never really seem to play around it all that well. We'd like to typically have somebody else on engaged champions other than Ayla, but Ayla did go with his patented Nautilus at this point. I know a lot of people wanted to see Alistar, like every co-stream that I rewatched, they all wanted Alistar. I don't think I've ever seen Ayla play Alistar all that much. Personally, I think definitely like Leona, Nautilus, Rel are like his champions that he will probably play. Maybe it's a bit telegraphed on our part, but we have enough flexibility in every other role that I'm fine with that being a crutch early on. Or, well, I guess not really early on. We drafted it last, but like the point is that people know it's coming. But man, we just played well. Individually played well. We did have a moment in game 1 where we nearly threw it at Baron, but we bounced back and we were able to steal the Baron because Spica is not able to hit a smite for whatever reason. But hey, I'll take it. Game 1, clean, in the books. Games 2 and 3, just as bad. Like, actually, let me put all of the graphs of the individual games over here. It followed the same formula. This was not a close series. We just smashed them. It might be close for a little bit, but then we just, like, took off. We'd have a play early on. Game 3 was the double kill. We pulled out the Senna bot lane, and we were just able to do it to him. We were just able to do it to him, which brings up our biggest strength going into playoffs. Well, there's two actually. First and foremost, obviously, is that we are young and we are hungry to continue to evolve. Last split, the narrative for us going into playoffs was, okay, these guys had a bunch of best of 1 experience, but how are they going to hold up in best of 5s? The answer, not great. We needed more time. Best of 3s in summer. We had a bit of a downturn. We had to replace a player, but we come in, and the more games that we get, the better realistically we will become. The level of cohesion that we saw here, granted, yes, it was against Dignitas, was a level above what we saw in the regular season. We are clearly evolving, and the meta is starting to swing back into our favor a little bit. And that's the second point, the meta. We have always been a team that is willing to take chances on new picks, on new patches. We have been probably the best team in the league when it comes to abusing live patch early on. We are early adapters. Is that going to work against Team Liquid next week? No, probably not. But Team Liquid tends to have a style that they really exceed in. They're good at having several different variations within that style, but for the most part, they do find that style. For us, having the Senna on the board, having the MF on the board, being able to play Azir, I'm assuming we haven't really seen Orianna all that much from Quid. I'm assuming he could probably play Syndra as well. Point remains, like, our champion pool is very deep. Sniper's a little bit more limited. Whenever you look at the picks that he's had, it's Renekton, it's Cassante, but those are typically the two picks that are going in top lane right now. And the LCS, at least, we don't see a lot a variation in top side. It's more around mid jungle ADC that we get a little bit more flexibility, but hey, that's fine. If that's our key to winning, that's fine by me. So let me just say one last thing on the narrative point for Dignitas. I get a lot of people were saying afterwards that, yeah, it was just Dig. I'm not going to take anything away from that, and TL is a whole different animal that we'll get into shortly. But when looking at a series like this, you're looking to see, did we improve on the things that we have struggled on historically that are separate from Dignitas, which is just picking the right fights, not being over aggressive, not getting caught out and extending out, which could be a measure of like them not punishing us, but at the same time, like it felt like we actually legitimately improved week over week over the course of since we finally broke our downturn. So yes, I legitimately do believe we are going to keep scaling into playoffs. So for people's expectations and that came in and said, oh, it's just Dig, whenever beforehand they were predicting either Dig to win or this to be like a closer series, like myself even, no, let's not lie. Let's remember where we were beforehand. This is a drastically different result than most people were expecting, other than the players who notably called it out on pros last week. For some around the org news, again, I don't really follow many of the other esports, but I do obviously follow Call of Duty a lot. As of the time of filming this, Optic was eliminated, but 100 Thieves did make the finals at Esports World Cup. I'm curious to see what happens there, but for my 100 Thieves COD fans, I'm not necessarily rooting for you, but I will say it's a good sign going into Black Ops 6. A really, really good sign for you guys. So I'm happy for you. The one other bit of news was obviously the 100 Thieves Akali emote, but I have a full video on that. If you want to go check it out, go check it out. I'm not going to really repeat and get redundant here on this. And honestly, other than that, just general stuff, there was some conversation around like 100 Thieves and people being like really critical coming into this weekend from commentators in the space. I would just ignore them. Some of them are being just outright idiots and some of them are just being trash human beings. But the one nice kind of community moment that I really appreciated was that for the first time in all summer, we finally had everybody from the org tweeting about the playoffs W. Courage tweeted about it. Nadeshot tweeted about it. It felt like people in the org are finally rallying around the LCS team, and it's like, damn, oh, where was this 2 weeks ago when we were turning it around in the regular season? But I get it. It's playoffs, different animal. Fine. I'm just being a needy little bitch. I get it. I'm an attention whore, okay? I want all eyes to be on us at all times. I want people to be tweeting out whenever we win series against even weaker opponents. I don't care. I just want the conversation to be there. So I'm happy that it's finally coming back. And for New York City specifically, we had a very successful watch party out in Brooklyn this past weekend. A few more 100 Thieves fans than were normally there. But a reminder that we will be watching finals at Legends NYC. I mean, there's an off chance that 100 Thieves could make it. Sure, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but at a minimum, like, it's just going to be a fun weekend. I'll be wearing this jersey. Come on out. Support the team and just have fun with it. Now for the Team Liquid series. Let's talk about this. So spring, obviously we got the best of them in best of ones, and we were able to do that by consistently picking on by consistently picking on APA and getting Quid ahead, which if Quid has a performance like he did against Jensen this past week, he can hold his own against APA, and this is a whole other ballgame. It then comes down to Sniper being able to hold his own as well. Bot lane, Core JJ and Yawn should be able to get the better of Tomo and Ayla. I'd be surprised if that lane goes even, so realistically, we need to get advantages elsewhere, and if Quid's on form, I think Quid can be better than APA, in all honesty, so that could be one there, but like Sniper and top lane, brother, this series, like, we want to get close on this. We want to try and make this a little bit more competitive. It is going to come down to jungle top, and being able to establish our presence there. You cannot let Impact get ahead. You cannot let Impact do what he does in playoffs, which is just take over team fights and stop us from being able to do what we want to do, whether that's him disrupting the backline or him just being a tank that absorbs damage. Impact is just that guy in playoffs. He always has been, he always will be, and you should always have respect on his name when talking about this. I'm not oblivious. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, oh, the 100 Thieves World hype train goes through Team Liquid. No, like, the honest to God truth is that would do a disservice to the narrative that is this series, which is this is a David versus Goliath moment. Team Liquid should win this series pretty handedly, based on how they performed in the regular season, unless we truly have leveled up that much. But that's why this series is a test for us. In all honesty, I just hope we can take a game. I hope we can look competitive throughout the series. That, to me, will give faith that we can beat FlyQuest in the journey to Worlds, because I don't see Cloud9 losing the FlyQuest, or maybe if they do either way, C9 or FlyQuest. Well, either one of those two teams that I just did the Looney Tunes, but
that's all, folks.
our journey to Worlds, in my opinion, goes through one of those two. And this Team Liquid series is a building point and a stepping stone for us to continue to level up, but more importantly, to be able to handle a little bit of adversity. Dignitas didn't give us a challenge, unfortunately. Team Liquid obviously will. We need to respond well to this. We need to be able to learn and adapt and grow from this and take away a lot of important lessons from this series going into the extended playoffs after that, if we want to stand a chance at Worlds. And if we do, for some reason, pull off this upset, it should just be celebrated as one of the biggest upsets in LCS history. I'm thinking like TSM Golden Guardians, like 2020. Yeah, that's probably like the next biggest upset I could think of. But this would be so much more. We're talking perfect regular season Team Liquid with a break to be able to get themselves back into form. Not even back into form, just be able to level up even more, have even more time to learn picks. Like, dude, this Team Liquid team is just scary. They're plain and simple scary. I buy into the hype of them being one of these teams that could possibly contend for a semi at Worlds. So like, yeah, we should be scared as fans, not as players. As players, you all better have that confidence through and through. You got to go into this series thinking that you could beat them if you're a player. As a fan, we just got to like make sure that like we manage community expectations as best as humanly possible and look for the signs that would make this a good result. But hey, I've watched enough NFL football to know that sometimes there are teams that just have to keep playing and building momentum, and some teams that like really do actually get hurt by that 1 week break going into playoffs. The Baltimore Ravens are the first one that come to mind, but we'll see. Unfortunately, I will actually be on a flight to Myrtle Beach when this series happens, so there will be no stream from me. I will try it. I'm probably going to pay for Wi-Fi to be able to watch the series, but oh man, I couldn't have picked a worse time to travel.